Spartans, welcome back. I've got another shoe review for you today, and we are going to be talking about the Altra Lone Peak 5. And this is the new Altra Lone Peak shoe that came out, I believe it was in March of this year. And you might be asking, is it worth it to upgrade from the 4.5 to the 5? Well, I think a better question is it worth it to stay with the Lone Peak line? Because eventually the 4.5s are going to be phased out, and this is the only shoe that you're going to be left with until they upgrade it to the 5.5. So, is it worth it? I'm going to go into all the details later, but my short answer is, for me, the answer is yes. It is a solid shoe. It's got a great lug system. It's got great grip. It does awesome on trails, but also for any of those of you who might have to get on some pavement or roads, it's still a great shoe if you have to go a distance on those. But let's get into the details for this review. My promise to you as a reviewer that I will not review anything on this channel that I do not personally use and absolutely love, or I will tell you, what my actual thoughts are. I don't get paid by Altra. These are just the shoes that I use. I wanted to try them out. A new model came out, and these things are phenomenal. All right, now as we get into this review, I want you to put in the comments below, what is your favorite Altra shoe? Do you have Lone Peaks? Do you have the 5s? Or is there another trail shoe that you use for your ultra runs or trail runs? And just go ahead and put those in the comments below. So the Lone Peak 5. So what I'm going to do is, as we talk about this awesome shoe, I'm going to first go over, what are the updates or what are the changes that Altra has made to the Lone Peak 5, and then what are my personal thoughts on how this shoe feels and how it actually runs on the trails and on the roads. So a couple of the updates or the changes that they've made. There aren't a lot, and the biggest one, honestly, is what they've done with the midsole here. And if we turn it around here, they actually have, you can see right here, they've changed the midsole. And so in the Altra 4.5, they had what they called their balanced cushion midsole, and they went ahead and upgraded it to now what they call the Altra Ego. Little play on words there, Altra Ego. But anyways, what the thought behind this is, or what they say on their website, is that with the Altra Ego that you get more responsiveness or you get more energy conservation, that as the shoe lands, that midsole absorbs some of that energy and then releases it to help kind of catapult or push you forward to save that energy that you're putting into the ground. They also say that they've upgraded their, their rock guard or their rock plate that they've got inside the midsole as well. And I don't know that I've noticed a huge difference on that myself, but they say they have, if you pull out, the shoe liner on the inside here and, put your finger in there and feel, you can feel something firm under there to protect your feet from the rocks. So they do have that. They did add just a tiny bit of weight. The shoe used to be 10.5 ounces on the 4.5. Now it's 11 ounces. I don't know that anyone's going to notice a huge difference on that, but it is slightly heavier. And then, there's everything else that was already in the 4.5 and the Lone Peak that made it awesome. So it's got the Max Track outsole. So the material that it's made out of is made to be, really grip things. And so it's got that grippy material. It also has what they call their trail claw system. And so these are their canted lugs that have, angles to them, both in the front and in the back, that oppose each other so the shoe doesn't slide forward or backward when you don't want it to. It keeps you in place. And then for the stack height, across the shoe, all Altras are 0 drop. You've got 25 millimeters all the way across. That has not changed to the Lone Peak 5. And then they've got what they call their quick dry mesh upper. And I haven't put this through a pond, run through deep water and gotten my socks completely soaked the shoe. But I'll tell you, I have been out and it's gotten fairly wet on the outer part of the shoe, running through some sprinklers. I live in Idaho where there's a lot of fields being watered, and they got pretty darn wet. And within I'd say 2 minutes probably, they were completely dry. I don't even know that it even got into my sock at all. And so, they've got a lot of the great things. They've kept it pretty consistent. And so those are the changes. Those are kind of the key components of the Lone Peak shoe itself. And so now I'm going to go into my thoughts. But first, if you feel like you're getting a lot of value out of this content, please give it a thumbs up. It lets us know that we're providing you with valuable information. And if you have any changes or anything you'd like to see, go ahead and put that in the comments below as well. So my thoughts after actually running in this shoe are that it is awesome. It feels really durable. And with the outsole, it does really grip well. I've put this on multiple different terrains, from roads and pavement to, gravel trails, really soft, powdery dirt trails with a fairly steep incline and decline, and, hard packed dirt / gravel And you know, I've put these through over 20 miles, and I've actually got the mate shoe right here. I washed mine up so it didn't look so darn dirty, but I mean, it's got dirt, powder all over these. But still, you know, the treads are great. There aren't any tears, signs of wear and tear on this thing, and you wouldn't expect that after 20 miles. But I do feel a difference. So I mostly run in Superiors. I've talked about Superiors before on the channel. It's one of my favorite shoes. I really like minimalist feel. But I'll tell you what, I do have to run some on pavement and on the roads, and I've noticed a big difference in both the cushion. This is a more cushioned shoe than Superior, but also it does feel more springy, like you're getting energy back as you run forward. And I especially notice it on things like pavement and the sidewalks, but also like the trails that are really hard packed down. I do feel like I get more, you know, I don't know if I'd say energy back. Like it feels more responsive, you know, pushing forward, help you get speed out on the trails. And you know, on the softer terrain, I don't know that I noticed as much of a difference, but it was extremely comfortable to run in. And one thing that I had read on some of the Facebook groups for ultra running and trail running is that it seemed like it fit tighter than other models. Of people got their normal size shoe and felt like they wanted to go up a half a size. So I went ahead and did that, and I found that it was actually helpful to go up a half a size. I've had issues before where my toes hit the front of the shoe, especially if I like kick a rock or a root, and I've lost several toenails that way. And I feel like I've got just a little bit of extra room in the toe box between my toes and the end of the shoe, but it still feels like it fits comfortably in the midfoot. Like it still tightens down. It doesn't feel loose or sloppy, but going up half a size worked for me. It may be different for you, but that was beneficial for me. And you know, ultimately the question is, you know, is this shoe worth it? Is it worth running in? I'd say yes. I absolutely loved running in this shoe, so much so that I've actually got two big races coming up, 200 milers. One is the Wyoming Range 100, and it's got 28,000 feet of gain. It's in the mountains in Wyoming. It's a UTMB qualifier. And then the next month in September, I've got the IMTUF. It's a Hardrock qualifier, a Western States qualifier. It's got about 21,500 feet of elevation gain out in the mountains north of Boise in Idaho. And I think I'm going to go with this shoe. I love my Superiors. They're a fantastic shoe, but I really think I'm going to switch. I really like this shoe. I haven't put a ton of miles on it yet, but you bet your bottom that I'm going to put these things through the ringer and make sure they work before I get them out on these big trail races, because those are huge for me. But I really enjoy this shoe. Get out there, train hard, train smart, and train Spartan. We'll see you next time.